to talk about the schedule released just moments ago in the SEC. Not too many surprises. We'll talk about that. Of course, there's the big Michigan scandal and who will take that job. Lots of names being thrown around. And we'll talk a little bit about what's happening in Florida. Good stuff. Looks like John Sumrall's got his staff rolling, getting together. We got Ben Troop up first, followed by Franz Beard will be joining us tonight. And our other friends will be along later, including Lauren Meadows and Carlton Reese. It's going to be a good night here on the program. Tell your friends and neighbors right now. The Buddy Martin Show is on the air. Come join us.
Yes, it's time again for Buddy Martin. Call him up and tell him what you're thinking. But be kind because he's doing the best he can.
Better, stronger, faster.
Mama says that alligators are ornery because they got all them teeth but no toothbrush.
Hey, what if the voice calls while you're gone?
Take a message.
Bye.
You ready, champ?
I'm ready for this my whole life.
I'm incapable of small talk. But that's why you love me, right?
Kind of intimidating to be in the presence of so many great athletes.
Evening, as I noted on my intro, there's some good news that Florida, things moving along up there. It's finally official. We suspected it would be. John Sumrall announces that Buster Faulkner is the offensive coordinator. Lots of praise being heaped upon Sumrall and his choices as coordinators. And now he's beginning to pick up momentum of other people. You'll see familiar names on there. Maybe Phil Trotwine from Penn State, former Gator, might be there. Stuff happening, and he talk about your multitasking. He is now coaching two teams at once. That's my kind of job. I love to multitask. That might be a little challenging, but at least you didn't have games yet to play. Let's check in with Ben Troop and see what he's doing tonight. I'm sure he's got many things to say. He always does. My honor to bring back, men from 84 Reasons, the great tight end and friend, Ben Troop. Hello, Ben. I don't hear you.
What's going on with you tonight, buddy?
How you doing, man? I've got this schedule I'm looking at here. I don't remember it being released like that. Maybe it's my week, but I always thought the schools introduced it. And I don't know if you saw it or not tonight.
I did. I saw it.
What jumped off the page of you? What jumped off the page of me was remembering. I just didn't remember this was the year that Florida-Georgia was not going to be played anymore in Jacksonville. And there it is right there on the 31st of October in Atlanta. And then the other thing that jumped out at me was going to Auburn. That's been a haunted house for Florida forever till Spurrier finally came along. It's a tough place to win. Some of Florida's biggest nightmare games were played at Auburn over the years. And they played Auburn in the third game of the season. And, of course, they've got Ole Miss. It would have been Lane Kiffin.
Yep.
Up there now on the 26th. And, of course, another game at Texas. And Oklahoma comes to the Swamp. So, interesting. I'm looking at the schedule, not knowing what Florida's going to have. We don't even know who the players are going to be yet. But thinking, there's 6, 7, 8 winnable games there. We'll see what kind of team they've got. But let's hope things are better in the Swamp, Ben.
Well, yeah, that's what you hope Coach Sumrall comes in and changes the culture. I know that's the hardest thing to do in football, maybe the hardest thing to do in life. But I saw Oklahoma. I saw South Carolina. Obviously I saw Texas. You mentioned Ole Miss, Auburn. It's not Vanderbilt. It's not going to – for everybody thinking that while the schedule is definitely changing up, it's not going to be easy for Florida. But I think if you are a guy like Coach Sumrall, who, as you mentioned, but if coaching two teams right now, one is you making sure everything is good over here in Gainesville, but you getting ready for a college football playoff game. I think the thing about Coach Sumrall that obviously he won the introductory press conference. He doesn't mince words, and he said something that resonated with me. Obviously saying that, hey, if you a former Gator, I mean, you welcome here. We'll, former Gators gonna definitely test that. But buddy, I go back to what we was talking about a week ago, just talking about him just being able to have that rapport with the media. I mean, a coach with the media, it's about as essential as a coach with the players. You're gonna talk to the media just as much as you talk to the players. Yes, it's not gonna always be easy conversations, but building that rapport of saying, look, people just doing their job. Ain't nobody going out of their way to make up stories about you. They going off what they hearing at practice. And that's another thing. We're gonna see how the access with that is gonna be. And I think you're not gonna be comparing him to Billy Napier, but you are. You trying not to, but you're gonna be like, okay, well, the previous coach didn't do this. What are you gonna do? You're not gonna say that out loud to him, buddy. But that's what we do. We compare everything.
Well, that's what we know.
Everything.
I mean, yeah, we got to compare it, and I mean, look, we've suffered with this, and the worst thing are false expectations. We got a little bit of a fool's goal at the end of last season, thinking that the answer was there, and counting on the team to be carried by the QB. But in the end, it wasn't enough, and it was difficult to watch. They struggled at the end. But then I think at the end, what we say is that if Billy would have paid attention to the things that we all knew were wrong, like getting the right number of people on the field, and then, giving somebody else a chance to call the plays. I hear he's already got a play caller at James Madison. You believe that? Somebody let somebody call plays.
Oh yeah. I heard his comment saying he's never been more motivated to prove something as a coach.
That kind of bothers me right there.
It does. I mean, as much as we, we've moved on, you look and hear some of the things because we saying, well, wait a minute. The first thing you do is get an OC. That's one of the first things you make sure you do.
Yeah.
Because when obviously that was a big thing when he was here, but we could do much worse than Buster Faulkner. I mean, the reigning offensive coordinator of the year, of the year. And that had a lot to do with DJ's. I don't know what DJ Lagway's, I don't know what his decision making was going to be as far as like staying. I always thought he was going to stay, but the OC was going to be a big factor. And what I appreciate about Coach Sumrall, he didn't get a OC, he got the premier OC. A lot of people want to bust something.
He did.
And that's something, buddy, that I was talking about in years past. We'll say, well, did Florida get the coach they wanted, or did they get the coach that said yes? Yeah. And you don't really have to, Coach Sumner, obviously everybody going to move past the lane given situation. But if you're going to get a coach like Coach Sumrall, and he understands, look, I know what I'm doing at Tulane, but I'm only going to be as good as those guys I put around me. You go get Coach White from over there, Kentucky. And I always say this. If you don't coach in the SEC, you got to have Southern ties. You got to understand the culture of the SEC and what it is. And like I said, Georgia Tech was one of the most up-tempo offenses in ACC and obviously all of America. Obviously, they had some. And I think about what Coach Sumner has meant to the quarterback position, all the way back to Stetson Bennett, at Georgia. And you look at what he did at Georgia Tech. And I just appreciate a guy who played the position from Georgia, went to Valdosta State, because, buddy, that means something. It means something that when you coach the offense, but you know little nuances. You could tell the quarterback, look, man, you got to work on your feet. You got to slide in the pocket. You can't. It's little things because players respect coaches, but you definitely respect coaches that used to be players. You respect them even more. But hey, like I said, Coach Sumrall can do no wrong. I know a lot of Florida faithful may be rooting for Tulane for different reasons. That's our future coach, and obviously they would love to pull that upset, which I don't think that's going to happen, but we'll see. But you said it best, buddy. Things are all good right now. Congratulations, like Vernell Brown III being freshman All SEC. Jake Slaughter, he's on the award list, and
he's got a shot here. Although my friend told me today, Kevin Brockway says he's not going to win the Remington. I said, well, I think he could. He thinks the kid from Iowa might win it, but what a great career Jake has had at Florida. And I read my piece, I researched it a lot, and every stat you look at, and everything he measures up to what the awards are all about. And of course, I don't know the kid from Iowa. Let's be honest. how many of us know the centers on the other teams? We don't.
Exactly.
But if you look at the numbers, look at what he's done, and look at what he's done in a very difficult situation, and carried the team and as he did, my gosh. But then again, they didn't win a lot of games, so I wouldn't be shocked if he didn't win the Remington. A lot of people don't know what the Remington is. It's the best offensive. It's the best center in the country, and one of the best offensive linemen, named after Dave Remington, formerly of Nebraska, who I think was a two-time Outland Award winner, All-American, whatever. But congratulations to Jake. He made All-American again. He made All-SEC again. And what a great young man he is. I was so proud to present him with the Wayne C. McCall Character Award at the Okata Quarterback Club last week. And what a great night that was, with the McCall family being there, 11 of them. And, of course, also Jenkins' fiance, whose family I know quite well. So really happy for him, and his dad was there, played UT Martin. So I'm glad. I mean, Jake, I didn't know Jake really that well. Got to know him a little bit the last few months of the season. And then one of the things I always like is the relationships I'm able to establish. And Jake being from Ocala was helpful. Now, we'll see where this all goes, but there's a lot of good momentum right now, but we have to wait. We have to wait and see.
Of course.
What players we're going to have, and we don't even know what players we're going to have yet. It sounds good. Here's the thing I want to say about the approach. Napier, like we said, someone said, I forget it was Rob or whoever said, Rob will be on later, or he said, the good coach Monday through Friday, but not so much on Saturday. In addition to his play calling, I don't know. I mean, he just wasn't the kind of coach I would like to play for. I mean, it took me 1 hour of listening to John Sumrall to say, I could play for that guy. As a former quarterback, I would have loved to play for that guy because he addresses it head on. He'll tell you if you screw up, that's okay. Players don't mind getting coached.
No.
As long as they're given the information and help and someone else. So I think Sumrall is really going to be interesting. I was listening to Tebow's comments today, or reading this. He said,
I saw that. I saw what Tebow said.
He said he knew he liked him. He thought he was going to be good for a farm, but once he spent time with him, he really likes him a lot. So we don't want to get over our skis talking about it, but it is exciting to know there's a guy there, and they're going to be a good change for the better.
I mean, and not to give him his flowers as well. Danny Warfel and his involvement in the recruitment of Coach John Sumrall, it shows that certain former players are a lot more vested into the program, or maybe not more vested, but they're given more leeway to say, hey, as much as Danny, go tell us what you like about this guy. I think that type of thing, that's a different kind of vetting process. I'm not saying that other schools don't do that. Tim Tebow obviously working for SEC Network and understanding that Coach Sumrall is going to be a guy that he's going to definitely look into. I think that Coach Sumrall said that his son said, do I get to meet Tim Tebow? Having those type of guys, Danny Warfel, Coach Spurrier, Maya, Tim T, those type of things matter. And as much as us former players, future players, current players don't get is to have that type of staying power. Danny Warfel is not talked about enough for his contribution to the University of Florida and what he did. Now, Shane Matthews is the godfather. And I'm talking about Coach Spurrier, by the way. That era. I'm not talking about previous. And you look at Shane and what he's doing. You look at Danny Warfel, obviously Tim Tebow. Having that type of influence, but it goes a long way because Coach Sumrall knows this. Look, man, you have to be under a rock not to know about the University of Florida. Like, everybody knows that's a national brand. But what I will say is he knows too, man. My first interview, my first press conference, this is my selling point. I'm not a politician by no stretch of the imagination, but I got to win them over to let them know you guys should expect this type of high energy from me. Obviously, I'm very demanding. He talked about not having a lot of patience, and I said Gator Nation definitely don't have a lot of patience. But buddy, what is this? But just like he was telling me earlier about a Coach Sumrall, it's that growth in the media. Like when he's sitting there in the press conference, it's just y'all and him. Because one thing about it is, as a coach, I don't know what it's like to coach. I definitely don't know what it's like to have to do interviews every day. But the best ones eventually get to the point where they say, all right, man, we gonna be here a while. We gonna talk to each other a lot. And I thought it was always classy when Coach Spurrier would call people by their name. What's up, buddy? What's up, friend? Like little nuances like that is what you pick up on.
Yes.
Because you want to let people know, man, I respect y'all.
I know
just
who
like
you
y'all
are, what
respect
you're
me.
about. I get you. And I think it's really important if the coaches would only listen. And I've been in this business 100 years. If you're smart, and the smart ones know this, the media is there for your use. You're to be the conduit that you reach the public through. You can utilize them to get your message across instead of trying to keep them from learning anything and telling them nothing and give them a bunch of non sequiturs or whatever in press conferences over and over again. You realize these people are there with microphones and pens and ready to go. Tell me your message. Here's what we're about. Tell them. And then suddenly the people begin to understand who you are, what your program is, and they can get behind it. And so we never really, it's like someone said, it was almost like Billy never was really a Gator. He just never, you know what I mean?
Well, but well, it's all facets of it, right? Like we can sit here and say, well, we understand that it's hard being a coach. No, man, it comes with it. Like if a coach's job is to be able to be a face for everything. Look, when it's good, I'm gonna step out there. When it's bad, because buddy, like you said, it's when y'all can tell stories that only y'all know. Like, cause y'all look. I never gave enough credit and credence to a media member for knowing mannerisms, and y'all know him better than anybody, man. I'm looking at this guy, I'm looking at his temperament, I'm looking at his behaviorism, and that's how you really tell a story within a story. Like what I sense from him is this, what I sense. But if I don't give you anything, and then you're not performing well on Saturday, you're making it real hard to be complimentary. You're making it real hard to kind of get people off your back because people still read stories. Everybody ain't on social media for their news, or people are still taking deep dives. So I do think that if Billy Napier understood that more than ever, because he goes, dude, I get my first impression, my lasting impression. What was that like, in the very end when it all came to an end? And like I said, I think Coach Sumrall, not saying that these coaches look at coaches' press conferences, I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't. I think Coach Sumrall understand that I need to win over the media. Doesn't mean they're gonna like me, but they need to know we on the same side. Like I know I'm not gonna like everything I read, but if it's fair, I can live with it as long as it's not sensationalized.
And that's how the great coaches all think. I've ever known, man. By the way, some good news. If they get Troutwine, that'd be good. Having a former Gator, we're going to see. He's been at Penn State 6 years. Vernell Brown and Jaden Woods are a freshman All-SEC honors today.
Congratulations to both of those young men.
And VV3 is the first freshman in Gators program history to claim 3 honors in the same season. So he's also now talking like we thought he would. He's going to come back. He hasn't said that officially, but he's going to come back, and that's a good thing. So those are positives with the offensive coordinators. There's good stuff happening in Gainesville. We haven't had a chance to emphasize it yet because we don't have any football team to talk about. But certainly Faulkner comes with a lot of recs, and there are people that talk about his sophomore or freshman quarterback, Philo. I don't know what people talk about how good he is, and they say, I think Brady suggests he might be coming. So you know what? We'll see if DJ wants to compete. If he does, if he doesn't, I mean, he's got a pretty good NIL deal, and a lot depends on how much of that he can keep. I don't even know. There's so much we don't know about that. But anyway, so let me just stop for 1 minute. I want to be sure and promote something here to my friends. We do a show now on Saturday mornings on the Panhandle up here in Northwest Florida. And my good buddy Rob Dotson is my co-host. And we've got a special show tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. We're going to have our usual crew. In fact, Rob Brown will be joining us, and Rob Dotson, and a special guest from down in Gulf County, Jim Norton, who's the superintendent of education down in Port St. Joe in Gulf County. He's quite a talker, and he and I talked to a huge Gator fan, huge fan of Shane Matthews and you and whatever. follows the Gators for a long, long time. So he'll be on the program tomorrow, 10 o'clock. Don't forget about that. So that's that business. So I don't know much about Nix. Do you know much about Derrick Nix? He spent 2 days. He spent 2 days in Gainesville this week.
You talking about is that the running backs coach from Auburn?
I think that's who that is. Yeah.
Yeah. I've anytime now I see who I heard he spent a couple of days here, and I know that was a bitter pill to swallow, losing our running backs coach, man. I mean, that
was.
And we know it was going to be some casualties. Like we understood.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I mean, obviously they held on to our D-line coach, but buddy, I would say this about Coach Sumrall and putting together this staff. He understands putting together the staff is just as important as putting the players together. I got to have the right set of guys because I got to have coaches that's going to just push my narrative, push what we trying to get done. Because Coach Sumrall seems to be a guy that's saying, "Look, man, I don't want to just be happy at being the head coach of Florida, man. I want to win, and I want to win consistently because." Everybody knows. I think one of the greatest things Coach Urban Meyer has ever said was, "There is nothing like Gainesville when you win." And I've been to Ohio State. I've been to the Big Ten and seen what it's like. And he said, and I think that because you don't got to make coaches say that. And Coach Spurrier, obviously, having that type of resource, having those type of resources.
Great.
At your disposal, I think does wonders. But I mean, we'll see how the staff ends up. I think these players. You mentioned DJ Lagway. Does he want to compete? VB3 coming back. I think Dallas Wilson going to be back. I mean, Jaden Ball is going to be able to, whatever he wants, they're going to give it to him. And I love what Coach Sumrall said. I watched Florida State, and I would have handed the ball off to Jaden Ball
10 more times.
Exactly. So I think that the foundations. I think what Coach Sumrall is inheriting is a very young, talented team. He got a lot of talent to pick. McCray, he'll be back off of injury next year. This recruiting class was really, really good. You talk about bringing back DJ Lagway. You talk about bringing back some O linemen. You talk about bringing back some key D linemen and guys in the secondary. I think what Coach Sumrall is saying, I'm gonna tear y'all down to build y'all back up the Sumrall way. And you guys that want to be here, which I want you to be here. And I think he's taking an approach to say, because Coach Faulkner, I want to see how this offense is going to look. Like, I really want to see how it's going to look. Because, buddy, I mean, not to make things like bland, but I just want to see consistent offensive play. Just no more.
Sure.
What is that? No more horizontal
passes. At the quarterback position, we got to have more consistency there. So,
and it should be an open competition as well. I think that's going to bring out the best of DJ.
Yeah, let's see. A couple of things here. People asking, Larry wants to know about Troutman. Anything? No, we don't know yet. We know they're still talking to him. Mike says I'd be surprised if Ball is back next year. I wouldn't be.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I think he'd be back.
I'd be pretty sure he is going to come back.
Yeah, he'll be back. He'll be back.
I'd be shocked if he wasn't. And then I've got Mr. Smoke said, Mr. True Preach, coach, got it, and no one else tell him that guy rocked the presser, and he's been backing it up so far. He has been backing it up. That's what I like about him. And I was listening to Urban talk about him today, and he said when he talked to him, he only asked about 3 things. He asked about his strength coach. He asked about his Tuesday practices, Buddy Tuesday. And he asked about one other thing. And so he's a tough guy. And
I like it. I mean, he played at Kentucky. This is me doing research. He played at Kentucky when I was at Florida. Yeah. And like I said, when I like when a coach doesn't shy away from, he's saying, look, I wasn't the best on the roster, but I gave all I had. A lot of times coaches end up coaching the way they played. Coach real hard, and he earned his way. I mean, like I said, like Scott Strickland, like him, love him, hate him. He didn't let Billy keep him from going back to the G5, which I thought Billy messed it up for G5 coaches. I really did. But he was like, well, dude, this dude is in the college football. Like, Tulane is in the college football playoff. They one of 12 teams in it. And that's got to mean something in the Sun Belt. I mean, not the Sun Belt, the MAC. So I think for Coach Sumrall, when he gonna hit the ground running, he don't seem to mince words. He seems to know what he wants. He seems to be a very, very energetic, guy when he was in these press conferences, buddy. I he has and I say this hesitantly, he has a lot of run zook intensity in it. Like he's gonna be
he does.
intense.
Yeah.
And as a guy that had run zook for 2 years, not understanding how much I needed him as a coach, sometimes as players, you can get spoiled being the place in Florida. You can get used to being the biggest brand in the state, and people, even if you haven't had the production on the field, sometimes you need to be reminded, no, dude, you don't want to just be the biggest brand in the state. You want to be the best brand of football in the state too. And I think Coach Sumrall is going to be working back, because nowadays ain't no more 2 and 3 years to get it right. You got to show promise
No, you got to
in year one. Yeah, exactly. And the patience in college football, that if that ever existed, it don't exist now. That's over with.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw the schedule or not, and a lot of people are asking about Campbell. I don't know much about it. I know it's in North Carolina, supposedly. I'm not sure. That's who Florida plays the second. Let's see what it says under Twitter. Under Blues Creek, North Carolina, Bowie's Creek, College of Pharmacy, Health and Sciences, Campbell University in Bowie's Creek, North Carolina. That's all I know. So they're playing Campbell. I think they'll be able to win that one. Sorry. So let me get one thing on the record here for those folks who are, now we got a pretty good size audience. I want to say I've never ducked anything. If I said it, I was trying to stand behind it. Would you say that, Ben? You don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've had a number of people say this to me, and I want to clear one thing up. I've been wrong a lot, and I'll own it when I am. But someone said something today about, well, we'll see what Buddy Martin says. He never gets it right. He said the whole time Lane Kiffin was coming to Florida. I never said Lane Kiffin was coming to Florida. Never did I say that. I did. My team, not even me, reported accurately that Florida was willing to offer him 135, whatever was that, $13 million a year for 8 years. I didn't write that. I would gladly own it, and I would stand behind it. But I never ever said that. Now Shane did say he felt he would. So I get blamed for a lot of things, and I'll take all the things I've said have been wrong. People that have told me I've said coaches are going to be hired, I've never said that. So stop trying to pin me with the things I didn't do. I did enough wrong and missed enough things. I don't need you to pile on. So let's get it clear right now. I never, ever said Lane Kiffin was coming. Matter of fact, I was doubting it for almost a month. So I just don't think he's going to come. And then I got swept up in the emotions, said, well, I guess he will, and he's the best guy. Maybe he will be coming. I never said he was coming. Did I? Did you ever hear me say that?
No, I know. Well, no, you didn't say he was coming, buddy. But here's the thing. Everything you said was accurate, because he even said I was gonna come to Florida. I mean, so many articles come out saying until he spoke with Scott Strickland. But here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? I'm gonna keep saying this. I respect Lane Kiffin. I respect what he's done at Ole Miss. I respect what he did at FAU. I respect what he did at Tennessee. I got coached under him for 8 games when I was with the Oakland Raiders in 2008. But we losing our mind over a dude that ain't never been to Atlanta. We losing our mind over it. I'm not saying Lane Kiffin ain't a good coach, but the same coach we thought was gonna go to Florida, and the same coach that actually went to Florida, they both in the college football playoff last time I checked. Sumrall is there coaching his team, and the other guy, they won't let him coach it, but he still get if they make it to the. So I am not saying that. I've learned this when it comes to media, buddy. When it comes to certain coaches or different things, until that ink dries, it doesn't mean that the reporting was wrong. You never said he was coming. You said Florida offered him, and they did offer him. What did he end up signing for? 13 mil. Isn't that what you said that offered him? So he signed for 13 mil a year. I think what happens is, we think it's a done deal because the reporting is coming out. I said, okay. Just like people thought, well, Faulkner's he's probably not going to sign with Florida because the Michigan job is over. Didn't he just sign with Florida? Yeah, it's always going to be, it's easy to say, I told you so, buddy. No, you didn't say anything wrong. You reported it first, and I like the fact that people was giving you and Gator Bait and Brendan like their credit when they were reporting it.
Right, and I endorsed it, yeah. And by the way, here's a great question. I don't know the answer. I'm sorry Billy Gonzalez had to go. I thought he did a really great job. I understand why you want to have your own man, good luck to Billy. He served the school well and did a terrific job 3 different times here. And people say, who will be the wide receiver coach? I do not know. I haven't heard any names yet. They'll be down the line at some point. We'll see. And Larry says, we may get Derrick Nix. That I don't know much about Derrick Nix. Do you?
I do not. So the wide receivers coaches, in America in college football are so unique as far as like what they do. I'm gonna miss Coach Billy Gonzalez. I just think he handled himself with so much class. I was happy for him to get the win. Was really, really close to getting a big win. Against Georgia, it didn't happen that way. I was able to get a big win against Florida State. I think what Billy Gonzalez did is kind of brought you back to the essence of what the University of Florida is, and he's meant so much to so many players, and even coaches that came through here. So it was hard to see him go. But Coach Sumrall is saying, look, I'm trying to put this staff together the best way I know how. I'm going to disappoint because I can't keep everybody. And I'm going to be excited to see just as much as you. I mean, I have no clue who it's going to be, but they're going to definitely have plenty of talent to go around. Whoever gets the wide receivers job in Florida going to have plenty of talent, with a lot of guys coming back from injury and current guys is already doing big things their freshman year.
For sure. All right, so we've got some other guys scheduled to come on here. I think Franz will be here shortly. I want to be sure and put this book up here and remind you folks, these books are flying off the shelf, man. Good job by Franz. That book right there is available right now. If you're a member of if you're a member of any clubs, Franz will be of Northwest Florida here next week, signing copies of the book. And thanks to Freddie Weeby for taking the time to taking care of selling copies. You can go to Spurriers.com and order that book right there. And also, we're going to have a signing up here in Northwest Florida soon. You'll be able to get a little discount. And in Ocala, check with the Carlton. There's a email address, the golden book. I got to get the right one. I'll get the right address. Carlton will be on our list. We'll get it right for you. So, yeah, people are very excited about it, and we're excited to bring it to you. It's a very good book, and you'll want to keep it. As I said to somebody the other night, you see how hard and what a tough loss for Florida in that game. You even treasure even more the golden season. This is a commemorative book. There's some wonderful pictures in there. Put it on the table. For the Gator fan in your life, you should be able to get that and for Christmas and a decent price. I'm going to get some of mine for Christmas for sure. All right, so let's look again at the schedule, see what we see. Again, we hit it late real quick. And as I said, they open up at FAU, and they play Campbell, so they should be 2-0. They play at Auburn, their places, but it's snake pit for Florida. Yep. You don't know about that.
And isn't the old USF coach, he the new coach down there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he is. It's hard to keep up with all these changes. How did you play at Auburn when you were there?
I did. I played at Auburn my sophomore year. We was ranked number 1 in the country. I saw, and we lost to them, and they played that rocket at dun, dun, dun. They was throwing all like the toilet paper all around the stadium. Auburn is a crazy place, and we played.
It's hard to win at Auburn. It is hard to win.
It is.
It costs. I mean, there's some tough games. Florida. I remember when Florida had one of their best teams. Auburn came to town with Terry Bowden and beat him in a big, huge upset. Beat Coach Spurrier. Then they got Ole Miss without Lane Kiffin. They'll be coming to the Swamp on the 26th. Then at Missouri. Missouri may be sneaky good this year.
They might.
They lost their quarterback, I think, but they're pretty good. Then they got a game they should win at the home game against South Carolina. Then they go to Texas. So if I'm counting this right now and betting it, I would say they would beat Campbell and they would beat FAU, be 2-1, lose at Auburn. I'm going to give them a possible dub against Ole Miss at home, so that would be 2-2. At Missouri is probably a loss. They win at South Carolina at home and at Texas. So those are the first few games. We'll take a look at the schedule, but nothing really shocking there. Looks like a manageable schedule. Again, not knowing what the team is going to be like, hoping it's going to be as good as, we'll see. So anyway, let's see what Lauren Meadows has got. Maybe he knows he's seen the schedule. Lauren, have you seen the schedule yet?
I'm looking at it now. I just got in the pocket, but I'm ready to roll. You let me know what's up, and I'm there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we just talked. Say hello to Ben.
How you doing, Ben?
What's up, Lauren? I mean, so they took away Texas A&M and they gave us Oklahoma. So they ain't doing us no favors. None.
No,
but,
I mean, I knew that the thing I didn't understand is going back to Texas. Got to go back to Texas. Got to go back to Kentucky late in the season again.
Yeah.
Got Vandy. Ole Miss here at the crib. I mean, it's really like the only thing I'm really excited about is September the 19th. I got to get me a hotel room, because I've never been to Auburn. So,
well,
what's it called? Nipper's Corner.
Toomer's Corner.
Toomer's Corner.
I've been to Auburn. I've been there for other stuff, just never for a football game. And
I've been there one time.
Very loud place. I got to tell you, really
Oh,
loud.
it is. I mean, hey, listen. There will be no. They're gonna have to have some baby wipes, because if Florida loses to Auburn, all the toilet paper gonna be gone. They're gonna be throwing it all.
I witnessed that. I was there last season. I was actually there for the women's game, but that night, Auburn beat Tennessee. I think it was like number 1 versus number 3 or something like that. And I got to see them toilet paper Toomer's Corner. I will say this about Toomer's Drugstore. And, buddy, you've been a lot of different places. The best lemonade I've ever tasted at Toomer's.
I don't think I've ever had that there. No, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's a neat little town. It really is.
Yeah.
Place.
Oh, yeah.
And,
no doubt.
As I'm sure this guy knows, we're going to bring him on in a minute and just talk about it. Then Rob will be here, and we've got Carlton Reese talk about the book, and Lauren. So give us your take on the schedule. Did you look at it? You say you got Auburn.
Yes, sir. Oh yeah.
You got to go to Texas again.
Yeah. I mean, it balances out well. I think it's not nearly based on the way you look at it right now. It's not as tough as maybe this year was, but. At Auburn, it'll be interesting. Obviously, Auburn wanted Sumrall, and he chose to go to Florida, and they got stuck with my guy, Golish, if you say stuck with it. Ole Miss will be an interesting game. I mean, that was a game Florida was in, despite not really playing. I mean, they were in the game playing well. At Missouri will be interesting, but it's on October 3rd, so it won't be as cold. South Carolina, winnable. At Texas, I mean, that'll be interesting. Texas be looking for some get back. We didn't necessarily play well there a couple years ago. Obviously, Georgia and Atlanta.
Texas is looking for get back, that's for sure.
Yeah.
They're not happy.
And then pseudo home game in Atlanta, the Oklahoma game at home. That'll be interesting, Oklahoma Sooners. Buddy, you might I think this is what I heard, and I don't know if this is true, that they actually came down and measured to see if Boomer and Sooner could fit through the visitors. That's what somebody said when Oklahoma got in the SEC, that they could see if Boomer and
Sooner, like Hoosiers,
if they could get through the opening.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, I don't like at Kentucky late, man. That game, even though we played like the dog, Florida played like the dog this year, I just don't, man. I'm from there. That weather, man.
Let me tell you what. They're gonna want to win that game because the coach played there.
Yeah, no doubt. But that
want to win that game.
But that weather, man, at that time of year, you don't know what you're gonna get in that part of the country.
It's true. It's still Kentucky, though. It's Kentucky.
Yeah, and Vandy, and then obviously go anytime you can go up to Tallahassee and put foot in the nose. So I mean, it's a throwdown, man. 9 conference games. You got to buckle up.
Yeah, let me say this real fast. We're going to Rob on. I want to tell folks about our great sponsors, particularly Meldon Law. You all know about Jeffrey. He's world famous, the things he does, the way he supports the university. They have a larger firm now, over 50 lawyers, 4 there in north central Florida, Ocala, Gainesville, Lake City, and Williston. Then now you go to South Florida there in Fort Lauderdale. There's a Meldon Law there, and they'll take care of your needs. They're also great Gators. Like I said, if you want to do any kind of business, and you need an attorney, and you're a Gator, you're going to want to have Meldon Law. They're a Gator through and through, and everybody knows what a tremendous promotion they did with those rings. They're real only official law firm of the Florida Gators. That would be Meldon Law. Rob, you have seen the schedule. It's out now. I guess you've seen it. It's a lot there. Do you have any sudden thoughts? We just were talking about the fact Florida's got to go to Auburn, got to play Texas, etc. What do you think?
I think people this time of year, what we think really, I mean, it doesn't matter because the team will be so different by the time they get to play it. And I love whatever the weather is. I love whatever the schedule is. I just think among fans, there's so much talk about the schedules, and it just doesn't matter. I mean, who cares? Whoever you play, man, you just play them. And the goal is to beat them. And I think Texas got an easy schedule when they came into the league. They're now playing a much tougher schedule. And Texas went 9-3 this year and escaped with overtime wins at Kentucky and at Mississippi State. Texas is finding out that this is a sausage grinder league. Florida goes to Auburn. Auburn goes to Tennessee. You pick it. I see where I think Florida doesn't Florida have Georgia and Oklahoma back to back?
We got Georgia in Atlanta. It just struck me this is the year this all changes. Let Ben go. Mm-hmm. Ben's got other things to do, and so let him go do whatever he's got to do there. I know he's
going to go study that schedule.
No. That's going to be weird though. Florida, Georgia, in Atlanta. Man, it's going to be lit. Ooh, I mean Mercedes-Benz, and I get it that's Georgia's home away from home, but yeah, I mean I'm looking at the schedule top to bottom. I'm looking forward to it. I mean Florida, Auburn. I'm happy that we getting back to playing them because I played LSU when I was at Florida, but we played Auburn all the time. I mean, with the Ronnie Browns and the Cadillac Williams and the Jason Campbells and the Carlos Rogers. I mean, they were cheating. That's how good they were. But I mean, you got some really, really good games. I mean, FAU, Campbell. You talk about Vanderbilt late. I'm gonna be interested to see what Vanderbilt team is gonna be there because I don't think they're gonna be this. I hope to God they're not the team they've been the last couple of years at Vanderbilt. But I mean, Florida got their work cut out. But I do agree. The only game that makes me nervous is Kentucky late, like Lauren said. Kentucky, Florida has always been weird, but Kentucky that late in the season. I mean, the only thing about this schedule that's different for me is no Tennessee, and
I
know that's different. That's different.
I sort of have to get adjusted to all this. All right, Ben, I'm gonna say goodnight to you. Thank you, buddy. I'll catch you. Appreciate it. Ben Troop, 84 Reasons. Appreciate it very much. We're gonna go now and see if we can grab a hold of Carlton Reese, bring him in and finish up Lauren's thoughts as well. Carlton Reese, of course, is a fine editor who's working on the book. I want to be sure and tell folks about it again. You can get this fine book right now. We hope to have Fran's on tonight, but he's not available. Of course, he's planning his mother's funeral here in the next couple of days. So even to you, Carlton, there it is right there. Tell folks real fast how they can get it. I want to go back to hear what Rob's got to say. And Rob, you should be getting one of those books any day now if you haven't got it already.
Yeah, where people need to go, I know there's been a little bit of confusion, but there are a couple of pages, like you mentioned, spurriers.com.
Yeah.
On there, you can get free ship Callan.com. That's my win. There's a button that you can click on to purchase season book. So theocallan.com, you can buy it online.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you go because you're breaking up on us tonight. But thank you again. What's that address again for people that want to email you? Is it the Golden Season Book at gmail.com? Is that it?
At gmail.com.
Okay, and I'll give all the information. Well, keep up the good work, Carlton. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, Carlton's in and out tonight. And let's get back on the program. I want to get Ben. As you gathering all this information, seeing the coordinators, seeing what's happening in Gainesville, looking at names like Troutline possibly coming here, the fact they hired the offensive coordinator of the year, without getting over our skis and falling in love on the first date, which way is this thing trending right now, Lauren?
Well, I think that I think it's trending in the right direction. I think that I maybe would have kept a couple people that have been told that they won't be retained, but it's not my staff.
Jaluk.
And so, yeah, I mean, if you want to throw names out there, Jaluk, I thought was a definite keep.
What do you do about Billy? Billy,
Gonzalez. Well, you already know how I feel about Billy. Anybody should keep him.
Yeah.
But I thought in this case, Jaluk was probably the more of the keep than Gonzalez in this case. I'm interested to see what the future of Katie Turner is. And the only reason I say Katie Turner is I'd rather have her with me than against me, because I think she's really good at what she does. Her track record is proven, not just at Florida, but at Georgia as well. Alabama grad, so she could end up back there doing some things. I just wouldn't want to recruit against her. So I would keep her around. And I think she is somebody that no matter who the coach is, I know she's close to Napier, but I think she's a star on the rise. And I mean, I think she could be in the good pocket there. But I mean, it's going to start coming down once these bowl games are over and things like that. You're going to see the staff rounding the form. I've reached out to some guys that are kind of in quality control analyst roles, and they haven't been told anything just yet. But, I think he's going to be careful, but I warrant that he's not too careful, because people are going to want to see this thing fall into shape. And, I think it's a cautionary tale, because the one thing about Napier, among other things, is that he hired his friends. And so, there's going to be some good coaches out there that I think can help Florida, and people are going to hold Sumrall accountable in that vein to hire some good people. I mean,
what he said. Sumrall said, "I don't hire my friends."
Right. And I mean okay, but people do hire their friends. I mean, let's face it. I mean, you hire your friends.
Well, if you
hire people
proven,
yeah. So I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Spurrier was accused of hiring all the Duke buddies.
Right. Well, and buddy, this. I mean, him and Brad White are friends. I mean, like somebody said, well, I thought he didn't hire his friends. Well, they're cool, and they might be friends even. But Brad White deserves to be the defensive coordinator of Florida. I mean, I think it's just going to, be a little patient, and I think things will round into shape.
Yeah, Robert, you talk to a lot of people. What are you hearing about Florida? I know you've got your hands full trying to get Auburn going in the right direction and all the changes at Arkansas and all the teams that you cover. But what's the trend for the people? You talk to a bunch of people. Sidelines every day, of course, is on.
Yep.
We get to hear it here on this network. What is and don't give it to me straight. What are you hearing?
Well, you talk about hiring your buddies. I mean, Dave Bartu always says on our show, buddy hires will get you fired. You'll all go down together. But if you know somebody and they're really good, I don't have a problem with that. And that's, nepotism is the killer. I mean, Alabama for the longest time had to have somebody that, got drunk with the bear on that staff, or to be the coach, and there were a lot of people that got liquored up with the bear. But I think with Florida, I know a lot about Sumrall from John Hartwell, and a lot, and just sitting right behind him at the Tulane Memphis game. This is the guy that, look, nobody's perfect, but he is so on top of what's going on, and his day in and day out interaction. He'll talk to you, buddy. That'll happen soon, I believe. But what I think he's such a driven, competitive guy. I missed on Billy Napier because I didn't listen to Lauren enough. When Lauren said, hire a damn offensive coordinator. And he wouldn't
practice harder.
He did. He just hired one at James Madison.
Well, but I'm talking about at Florida.
And practice harder. Remember, I was the first one to say they didn't practice very hard. Now everybody's saying it. But
and the thing is, all the coaches, if you look at the top 4 coaches in America right now, Ryan Day at Ohio State, Kurt Cignetti, Kirby Smart, and Dan Lanning at Oregon. They're hard asses. They push this narrative that you cannot coach kids hard today is absolute garbage. Every kid on every school, all 16 of them at SEC Media Days, I surveyed at least one. I asked the question, Do you want to be coached hard? Do you want to be pushed? I mean, harder than you ever been pushed in your life? Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And I said, don't you, isn't that what it's going to take to get to the next level? They go, yes, sir. I want to be pushed hard. So the tough coaches, and well, let's go soft in practice. That doesn't work. I mean, we've got to change that narrative.
Well,
John Sumrall.
Spurrier never hit hard.
Well, but I'm saying just tough practice. But I'm saying about John Sumrall, he looks like he could still line up and play. And by the way, buddy, that was a great question that you asked at the press conference.
Excellent.
About how just great writers, you just know how to ask questions. Everybody else is asking all this other stuff. And you're going, talk about how you handled when you got the news, your career was over. And that's the most defining moment in his adult life, buddy. It's a great question. But I love the hire. And with Florida, you are on a gravy train with biscuit wheels if you're the head coach. If you've got everybody aligned, as Urban Meyer says on this show. And I think Florida people, they're not aligned right now. They're kind of waiting. Listen, don't say I'll believe it when I see it. Here's what I say every morning. I'll see it when I believe it. If you don't believe it, you ain't going to see it. But the Gators have got everything. And also I think, too, Florida doesn't ask enough people for money. They ask the same people too often. And I'm telling you, 500,000 living alumni. Shane Matthews put that list out, comparing Ole Miss and Florida.
Yeah.
Shane's right. And so was Lauren, and so were you. Practice hard, and just, you know what? If you if you think you see something, you're right. Yeah. Go with your gut instinct.
Say something. In the remaining minutes, we got about 4. I've got to talk about Michigan. And I really kind of feel the guy's got mental problems, obviously.
Yeah.
When he shows up at his girlfriend's house with a knife, threatening to kill himself and kill her, you think about what kind of stress was this guy under. Doesn't mean didn't give him any slack. Doesn't say it's okay. But, I mean, there's so much pressure. Lauren, you've been a coach. I've known coaches all my life. I've seen people fold under pressure. I've seen them become alcoholics. I've seen them break up their marriage. I've seen them womanize, chasing women, whatever. And anything is distraction. So I'm not giving this guy any slack. It's a brutal situation. Here's what's brutal. They're going to have to find a coach that's going to complete the dominoes are going to fall like crazy now late in the year. How much damage is that, Lauren?
It's huge for Michigan for sure. I mean, you know me, buddy, man. I hate to pile on and when things happen, but it's just unfortunate situation, man. And the young lady involved, his wife, his children, Sharon Moore himself. It's just not a good situation. It's not a good look for one of the flagship programs in college football. And they're going to have to move fast. I kind of been I've tried to stay away from that just because.
But you can't.
But like I was talking to somebody tonight, and I don't know what they're going to do. I know Kalen DeBoer was mentioned to maybe go there,
he's
but I don't
number one candidate.
Yeah, and I don't. They're going to need somebody to come in and steady the ship because it kind of takes the pressure off what was lingering from Harbaugh, because now everybody's going to be talking about Sharon Moore. But I mean, really, from Harbaugh and even the national title, they seem so far from that now between everything that's been handed down and now this, that is just unfortunate, man. And they're going to have to get somebody to come in and really, you're getting close to what Bill O'Brien had to do at Penn State. Come in there and really just settle in and get football to be the main thing again. I know they've got some. I mean, Biff Poggi is a decent dude.
Yeah,
Donnie Martindale.
Poggi's had a phenomenal help. The local high school become a powerhouse. Made a ton of money in the market, a hedge fund. And Rob, you know about that. All right, let me get to this real fast, Rob. In this whole situation with what we got to deal with here in the coaching situation and where they are and how embarrassing it is for college football to have this. Where do you go? Who's going to be the coach of Michigan? Where do you think is going to be? And what does that do to the people? What if it is the coach of Alabama? But that just wrecks Alabama.
Well, okay. We hear a lot up in Memphis, Jimmy Sexton. Jimmy Sexton's behind all this stuff. Okay, number one, he blackballed Penn State because they fired his client, James Franklin. And he told everyone to stay away from that job. Finally, Matt Campbell took it. All right, number two, Kevin Skarbinski is all over that Alabama story. And I know he'll be having something on our channel here. Kevin
I'd like to get him on. Kevin's really
Kevin
good.
and Pete Cordelli and I had a great talk today. I'll say this: Pete's all over that Michigan story. There's going to be there's two sides to this story.
Well, it's been a cheating culture way back to Connor Stallions.
Yeah,
You know,
it's a mess. And then
look at the president that was going to go to Florida, and they had him hired. They found out he covered up the Harbaugh thing, and they let him go. It's been cheat.
Yeah.
Now,
So watch
I don't know.
Yeah, watch the trail on this deal with this young lady. I think the athletic department, there's a lot to this. And another thing, Sexton and Saban have everything to do with everything going on. Every coach that's brought up, watch out for Marcus Freeman to be poached from Notre Dame. They're going to say, what's your price? Okay. And if you were in a conference, you wouldn't have been left out. You'd have been in the CFP.
Yeah.
Watch out for that.
You've probably said that to Marcus Freeman.
I think Michigan's going to make a run on him.
He is one of the top three guys.
I would,
if I was Michigan, I'd go all over, and then I'd give him $20 million.
Yeah, I love the guy. He's Southwest Ohio.
Yeah, right up the road, Wayne High School, Wayne and Northmont, where I coached 10, 15 minutes from each other. It's the two. I mean, right there. I mean, they you go up the hill, you in Huber Heights. You come down the hill, you in Inglewood. I mean, it's the two. I mean, I mean, I've known Marcus since 14 years old.
The NFL's making a run on him, and Clint Dowdle from Memphis is his agent. I know Clint, and I'm telling you, the Michigan culture is also one of extreme, God love them, but hypocrisy. Oh, we know better than you. Don't do as I say, do as I do as I say. And they look down on the Southeastern Conference, and those days are over.
All right, guys, great job. I got to go. Time's up. Great job, Rob. Don't forget who you got on the show tomorrow real quick.
Roman Harper's going to jump in with in the morning and bat lead off with us, and Frank Duffy, Doug Dean, Brad Bellamy will be on. Of course, EP, Richard Petty, Brendan Martin will be on here with us in the morning.
Okay.
And then I'll be on the Panhandle show tomorrow.
Tomorrow morning, we're going to do it at 10 o'clock.
Hey,
all right,
buddy.
Lauren. Yeah.
I also want to say something about Stone Angel, who watches your show. He's fighting cancer. He's a big Gator. You're in our prayers, man. And that means the world that he watches morning and night. Love people.
He's on right now, the one Stone Angel. He's writing a couple of comments. Yeah, he's good. All the best to you. All right, thank you, Lauren.
Yeah.
Quickly, good job on lowdown. Anything cooking?
No, we just we're looking at kind of going to maybe break left a little bit, looking at all Big 12 corner Bryce Pollock from Texas Tech, maybe joining the show just to give a little edge to us about this college football playoff thing. But interesting fact, and Rob knows, my two of my three grandchildren, Roman and Harper.
There you go.
My son played college or high school football with a teammate of Roman's at Carolina. So, he wore number 42 in high school. So
Jackie
it
Robinson.
just goes all around.
Appreciate it. All right. Thanks, guys. Great job.
Yeah, it is.
Great job. Thanks, Lauren. Thanks, Rob.
Thank you,
tonight, guys.
Night.
Thanks to all our guests tonight. Thank you for being troop earlier, and Troy can get our friend on the program tonight. Don't forget, if you want the book, go to Spurriers.com. Carlton Reese has done a great job. The book's available for Christmas. Just want to mention Titan MRI and Imaging, one of our great sponsors. They have 3 locations to serve you in Gainesville, Park Avenue and now Millennium Center, and one in Lake City, serving all of Columbia and Valdosta, Georgia. They do really high-tech stuff. There's a lot of talk about them in Gainesville, the buzz they've created there with any kind of MRIs that you need. They offer the same great customer service. I love this about them. They'll make an appointment for you at night if you have to have it. They'll make that appointment. That's just incredible customer service. And, of course, they accept insurance, or you can go through this convenient self-pay option. Nobody likes to have an MRI or whatever or a CAT scan, but when you want to go there and you know your customer service You're taken care of. They give you the best they have to offer, including those extra big machines they have. And they will take care of you there on any of the options that you'd like, trying to help you have a better experience. So check them out. Coming to Ocala soon to better serve Marion County and surrounding area. Titan MRI. It's your choice. Well, thank you, folks, for listening. Thank you for watching. We're done for the week. We'll see what's going to happen. Interesting news here developing as we'll see more about trout wine and what's happening there and whether or not they'll be able to put this. I think the staff's going to be quite good. I think we're just going to be excited. I saw the schedule tonight, and I'm anxious to get started. I still can't get over the fact they're actually not going to play the game in Georgia. The Florida-Georgia game is not playing in Jacksonville. That's kind of new. Anyway, that's the way it is. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Good night, folks.